It was interesting to chat to the Greater Manchester Mayor. I'm sure you've worked with him previously when he's been in the Palace of Westminster. He feels that the Labour Party is not necessarily going far enough on things like nationalising the energy companies. It seems that we've seen I don't know, have we seen a U-turn on that?
No, we haven't. And while I agree with Andy on very many things, I think actually the really clear contrast right now is between Labour's fully costed plans to stop people having to pay those enormous projected increases this autumn and winter with their energy bills, and the complete lack of action from the Conservatives. And that's not to do with there being a leadership contest on with the Conservatives. It's because of the fact that neither of the candidates have been clear about what they would do to get those energy bills down. Labour has been clear. We have that policy to keep the current cap, to not let it go up any further. We spelled out exactly how we'd pay for that. We'd pay for that with a windfall tax. Now, of course, that was described as an incredibly too radical measure for a very long time, particularly by the Conservatives, but by others as well. Eventually, we dragged the Conservatives kicking and screaming to implement one version of it, but with huge loopholes. We'd bung up those loopholes, we'd start it earlier, we'd use that and other means to pay to keep that cap where it is at the moment. And that's the big contrast, actually, in British politics at the moment. Of course, Andy's right to say people need the basics, and Labour's showing how we would deliver that. I just wish that the Conservative leadership candidates would listen.
You say it's not a U-turn, but I was just looking at the manifesto for the last election, and part of that was to say that the energy and mail and rail would be nationalised.
Okay, of course, every party changes their manifestos over time. I've just been talking about the immediate measures that Labour would be taking right now to deal with those energy costs. I think that's what many people are worried about, having heard the news recently about the hike in the cap that's coming up very, very soon. But, as Labour has been very clear in saying, we are pragmatic. We're pragmatic about how, for example, our energy system is run in our country. We're pragmatic about the role of public ownership within energy. It needs to operate within those fiscal rules that were set out by Rachel Reeves at our last party conference, needs to work for our country. And that's the key thing that's of importance for us as Labour. We want to get a grip on those long-term problems that have affected our country. I would say when it comes to energy as well in particular, we want to get a grip on the extremely poor quality of energy insulation that we have in our country. We've got some of the worst insulated homes in all of Europe right now. That's why we said that we would be insulating Britain as well. So again, that big contrast between Labour, that's pragmatic, that's clear about what we would change, and the Conservatives when there's simply no plan at all.